Hey, wrestling fans, and welcome to the One Winged Wrestling Podcast, where two wrestling elitists discuss or review AEW events and wrestling news from around the world. At One Winged Wrestling, our motto is "We go where the elite go." I'm your host, Krishna, and joining me today is Mr. Bill Cutbush.
Hello there. And for those of you who don't know, One Winged Wrestling, what we do is we are going to give our impressions of tonight's AEW Dynamite event. We're going to go watch the show. We're going to come back and find out, did that show meet our expectations? What stood out about it? What fell flat? And most importantly, did anything on the show reach the Omega level?
And Bill, until he gets back, I will continue asking that question. Can anything that does not include Kenny Omega actually reach Omega status?
That will depend on if the Joker tonight is Kenny Omega.
Oh, don't do this to me.
I
Bill.
know.
Don't do this to me. But
I
you know
know.
what? With that, Bill, let's kick it off. Let's
Okay.
start it.
Right. So, I did not see any late announcements by Tony Khan, did you?
I didn't see anything either. No.
All I saw from him was an announcement about tonight's card, and it looked the same as the one I had this morning for once in our lives. So, let's just start it off with the first Owen Hart Foundation Men's Tournament semifinals match. Adam Cole versus Jeff Hardy. What do you think?
I think you know what? After Jeff's kind of fight, or I don't even want to know if you want to call it a fight with Darby Allin last week. I have a little bit more faith in Jeff. Like, he can still go, though I do think some of the things he does is way too dangerous. But in this match with Adam Cole, it's going to be a good match. Cole can carry. Jeff can actually, I don't give Jeff Hardy enough credit. He can actually carry the match as well. I think it's going to be good. I think it's going to end with Adam Cole winning, because I don't think Jeff Hardy is continuing in this competition. But overall, I think it's going to be a good match.
I would agree with you. I think it's going to be a good match. I think Jeff Hardy, if he's Jeff Hardy's probably still recovering from last week's match.
Oh my goodness.
Well, I mean, he's not young anymore, you know? So, I mean, the kind of bumps and stuff he took last week were insane. So, yeah, I think it's going to be a solid match. I can't disagree with you. I don't think it's going to be great. I doubt this will be my match of the night. I agree with you. Adam Cole is taking it because, like I've already said, he's probably taking the tournament. So, yeah.
Fair.
Okay, next up, we have our second Owen Hart Foundation Men's Tournament. Well, this one's a quarterfinals. Why does this one say quarter and the other says? Anyway, Samoa Joe versus the Joker.
Okay, so this is where things can be really good, but also be absolutely amazing at the same time. The Joker could be anyone. I actually don't think it's going to be Kenny Omega. I think he's returning at the pay-per-view on 29th. But all fingers point towards Cesaro. I don't know what his name is. I think it's Anthony something, but Cesaro may be the Joker, or as Bill pointed out last week, Cesaro is the Joker. And I think that, you know what, Samoa Joe, if it is Cesaro, is going to be a great match. I think that's going to, like, as I've said over and over and over again, Cesaro is pound for pound the strongest wrestler that's ever existed, and I think he puts on a great show. He was just underutilized in WWE, so I'm kind of curious to see what he can do on the, I hate to call it the independent scene, but the AEW scene. So I think this match is actually going to be, if it is, depending who it is, I think this match actually might be better than the first match with Hardy and Cole. And I think it's going to be a really, really good match. But again, I don't think it's going to be the match of the night. So what do you think?
Yeah, I think it's going to be the Joker is Cesaro. Claudio Castiglione.
Castiglione. Yeah,
I can never do his last name properly. But anyway, yeah, it's Claudio.
Yeah, Claudio.
Yeah, it's Claudio. Yeah, no, he's an absolutely phenomenal wrestler. Of course, if he does the same thing he did with Bryan Danielson once upon a time with the 20-minute one headlock hold match, which of course they did on purpose. But anyway, yeah, no, I think this is going to be a really good match. If it is Cesaro, Claudio. Samoa Joe can actually wrestle really well.
Exactly.
I suspect he'll have a great match with him. I do suspect that the Joker is going to go over here unless the Joker is a completely flat surprise, like Leo Rush or something like that.
Oh man, don't
Um,
do that. Don't do that, Tony Khan,
you
please.
know, well, no, I'm just telling you, expectations. You know, we've
Yeah,
been disappointed in these things
fair
before,
enough.
so maybe he's learned, maybe he hasn't. I mean, we had
We'll
that big
see.
surprise of Satnam Singh, right? So anyway, yeah, no, it's gonna be a good match. Good match. Okay, this brings us to our other Owen Hart Foundation. That's basically the Owen Hart Foundation
Yeah.
show. Owen Hart Foundation Men's Tournament Quarterfinals. Kyle O'Reilly versus Ray Phoenix.
So this match here is what I think might be my match of the night. Obviously, because Ray Phoenix, again, I always joke Ray Phoenix and Dante Martin are the men that gravity forgot, right? But like he's just crazy. You never know what this guy's gonna do. And Kyle O'Reilly, I was never a fan of him because I didn't really watch much NXT. So like, I only saw him on the off, like when he was maybe, I guess, like just interfering in the main roster if that ever did happen. And when I went to the NXT event, but he's really impressed me. Him and Bobby Fish, I never thought that they were like, well, not I never thought, I never saw them, so I didn't realize how good they were at wrestling. So I feel that Kyle O'Reilly versus Ray Phoenix match of the night is it's gonna be great, and it's gonna be my match of the night.
I agree 100%. This is also going to be my match of the night
All
if I had to
right.
call it right now. Bobby Fish is, not Kyle O'Reilly. See, now I'm Kyle O'Reilly is amazing. See, now you're beginning to understand when I said I saw Red Dragon
Mhm.
versus the Young Bucks at, the Mattamy Center here in Toronto.
That's crazy.
And it was amazing. I was
Yeah.
like second row away from the ring, and it was just phenomenal back in 2014, something like that. Anyway, now you understand when I say that, how good that match was.
Now I get it,
So,
and I'm
yeah, now
jealous.
you get it. Kyle O'Reilly versus Ray Phoenix, you said everything about them. I mean, they're both phenomenal talents in the ring. They
Yep.
both know what they're doing. Ray Phoenix is on another level to so many wrestlers, insane talent, and to have him fighting Kyle O'Reilly, it's just going to be great. So, yeah, I don't even know who's going to win this one. I forget who I said last week was going to win. I'm just going to
Mhm.
say, let's go with Ray Phoenix.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, this brings us to our Owen Hart Foundation Women's Tournament quarterfinals. Dr. Britt Baker versus the Joker.
This match, I think Britt is a great wrestler. Like, I mean, I think she's really good. She's great at playing that heel. Technically, she's very, very good, right? Probably one of the top female wrestlers in general. In general, Joker. This is where I have the problem. I don't know who they're going to bring out here. Right now, Tony Khan obviously has, as you said earlier, surprised us, really surprised us, or it's been very underwhelming. Um, Depending who it's going to be, I don't know how it's going to mesh. Like we've seen Bill on this show that when you bring someone new in, like especially, and I hate to attack the women's division, but you bring a new woman in and they wrestle, and you're like, okay, well they're messing up that spot, and they're missing with this, right? So my fear is it's someone brand new, and there are going to be these mess ups during the actual match, and I think this might be probably the worst match of the night. That being said, I don't know who it's gonna be. It can totally surprise me, and I'm hoping it does. I hope I'm wrong. I hope to come back after the show and say I was wrong about that match, and hope it's great. I just think it's gonna be underwhelming. But I'm thinking like I've heard rumors it might be Ember Moon, like that or the equivalent, whoever she is outside of WWE. But overall, I don't know much about what's gonna happen here. And I think they're just doing a female Joker because they already have a male Joker, right? So I think I'm hoping for the best, but I'm preparing myself for the worst. What do you think?
I think Ember Moon would be good. She's quite good in the ring and never really got her chance to shine in
Mm-hmm.
WWE, as so many other
As
wrestlers
somebody
didn't
else,
get a
yep.
chance to shine in WWE in their system. So I think if it's her, that will be great. Um, I guess there's no chance this is going to be Sasha Banks or Naomi.
which we will talk about in a couple minutes, actually.
Yes, but yeah, that would be. Oh my God, could you imagine
I
Sasha
I
Banks
would
on the
I
show?
would I would pop. I would literally just pop. I'm
Yeah,
like, oh my god. I would. It would be like the doc when I went crazy when John Krasinski showed up on Doctor Strange, right? So
right.
yeah, I would
Yeah,
be. I don't know. I don't know what I would say, but yeah, I agree with you.
right.
I agree with you.
I think that if the Joker's not anybody major, um, Britt Baker's going over,
Yeah.
I have a sneaking feeling, though, that if it's anyone with any credential, you can't have them lose in their first match unless there's
Mm,
some really heavy interference or something.
agreed.
So, yep. I can't say that I'm hyped for this match. I'm intrigued. I'm curious, but I'm not hyped. So I believe that's all of our scheduled matches. So now we have two segments we can talk about
Yep.
briefly. We have Chris Jericho and William Regal face to face.
Sports entertainment. That's what I'm gonna say here.
Yep.
I love the tongue-in-cheek making fun of WWE sports entertainment shtick that's going on right now. So I just feel every time Chris Jericho touches that mic, or anyone in his crew at the moment, the Jericho Appreciation Society, it's gonna just be gold, right? Them being a bunch of goofballs versus the ultra serious Blackpool Combat Club, I think it's gonna contrast so like in a really good way. I'm happy to see these segments. I hope they don't get stale, but so far so good. I'm sports entertained. How about you, Bill?
Oh, yeah, yeah, me too. I mean, Jericho, we know he's going to be good in this segment. Yeah, this is his wheelhouse. He's rejuvenated himself again. I
Yeah.
was getting so bored with him before,
Mhm.
and I'm enjoying him again. The guy just keeps learning how to
Yep.
reinvent himself over and over. It's phenomenal. William Regal, I love William Regal. He was so good on NXT as the GM. He
Mhm.
was such a good wrestler in his day. The man breathes wrestling. And when
Yep.
he cuts a promo honestly from his heart, and I think that's exactly what he's going to do tonight, no one can beat this guy on the mic either. He's just insanely good, and he's going to be the ultra serious, ultra emotional William Regal. And I think putting that against the ultra ridiculous Chris
Chris
Jericho
Jericho.
is going to make for an all. I'm actually really looking forward to hearing these two tonight. I
Yep.
can't wait.
Same.
Which I am not going to say the same for the next segment, which is Wardlow takes 10 lashes from MJF Deja Vu
So
segment.
so you mentioned Jericho at certain points boring you with certain things. Like this is my I'm bored segment where maybe I'll go use the washroom quickly or washroom break, and I can care less. I get it. You know what? The fans are loving it right now, but it's the same MJF story over and over and over again that I'm just bored. I'm just hoping for it to finish in like a minute. So that's my opinion on it.
Yeah, just give him 10 lashes, get him out of the ring. That's
Yeah.
it. Does he have to have him in the ring? Can they just do him
I
when he
don't
walks
know.
in the
I
entrance
don't
of the
know.
thing? Okay, use your 10 lashes. You can go home now. Thanks. Bye. I mean, that's all. It's as entertaining right now as this Gmail notification that just came across my desktop that said Shop AEW Hookhausen t shirts.
Yay.
Yeah,
Hookhausen.
I'm as excited for this segment tonight as I am to go and buy a Hookhausen t shirt.
Yeah. When AEW went off the air last week, I think Hook choked out CM Punk. That was one of the things. I think Hook choked out CM Punk. So, it's one of those the fun things they have with the audience after everyone's gone home, like the
That's not
dark
fun.
matches.
That's not even funny.
Well, the funny part was Hook choked him out, and then the audience was clearing out of the arena, and CM Punk was just lying in the middle of the ring. The doctor was in the ring with him. Everyone is cleaning up around the stage, and he's just still lying.
Oh,
So,
that is so CM Punk.
so I
That's the
thought that
best.
he's having. You know what? He did say he's having so much fun
Oh
right
yeah, no,
now,
for
and
sure.
he's so happy. So I'm actually that's one of the good news stories, right?
Oh yeah,
Really, really
of
good news
course.
stories.
No, I love the fact that he's having fun again. I mean, he's been my guy forever. He's on that level, just right, almost up to Kenny Omega there for me.
Oh, so
Okay.
that was our those were our predictions, our picks for tonight. And one thing, and here's a new segment we're going to try out. We're actually planning on having this probably the weekly opening, but we're calling this segment "Keeping Up with the Elite." Now we're just going to talk about news. We're going to try to have some elite news in here as much as we can, but we are going to talk about the bigger stories of the week that have been happening. So actually, the biggest story that broke just this past Monday, and then Bill kind of alluded to earlier, was Sasha Banks and Naomi walking out of Raw. At some point, we thought this was, all part of, just kayfabe. We thought that everyone thought it was kayfabe. But I think Dave Meltzer and multiple sources then reported that no, this was not a work. This is true. And to the point where WWE actually had to release a statement on the official website as to the professionalism of athletes and certain athletes walking out. Because if you're watching Raw, you know that there was supposed to be a 6-person match to determine the next contender for the women's championship. Now, if you don't know, Sasha Banks and Naomi are the tag team champions, but they were put into this match as single wrestlers. They claimed that they didn't like the fact they had like maybe less than 8 hours to prepare for the match. They didn't like the people that they were in the ring with, which is kind of crazy because when you hear the names, it's a little nuts. And they didn't feel safe, and they felt like the actual WWE Women's Tag Team Championships were just being devalued, right? And if you think about it, that kind of makes sense. Like, you're just throwing the two women's, and I guess, and I think today it broke as well that what was actually going to happen is that Sasha Banks was going to get pinned by Naomi and then face off against Bianca Belair and then lose Bianca Belair, obviously, in their title match. So Sasha and Naomi did not like this. They literally walked into John Laurinaitis' office. They put their belts on his desk and walked out of the arena. Bill, what is your take on this?
Well, the whole story you just gave me is great, except that's the story that was written in the WWE statement.
Oh, okay.
That's where all of that came from, was the WWE statement. So what exactly happened? There's probably some truth to the statement.
True.
But whether or not they said, well, we're just unwilling to work with these women, etc. Also, WWE didn't have to release this statement at all.
True.
There was no news really that they had left, just some rumors floating around. You remember when CM Punk walked out?
Yeah.
Right? He walked out. There was no statement issued by the WWE. I think when Stone Cold walked out back, when was that? It was quite a few years ago. I can't remember if the WWE issued a statement for him walking out that day or not, but it's not like they had to issue a statement, but they chose to issue this statement, which is what makes this so interesting. It's like they wanted to get out in front of it and put out their version of the story first, right? What actually happened? Well, we'll wait to hear from Sasha and Naomi, because as far as I'm aware, as of 7:41 p.m. On May the 18th, I haven't seen or read anything from them clarifying why they did what they did. They walked out. It doesn't appear to be a work.
No,
it appears to be legit. Who knows what's going to happen with them? I mean, we've seen other people walk out with no statements too. I mean, Neville stopped reporting for a while.
Here's my question, though, to that. When those people walked out, did they have advertised matches that were supposed to take place and then reverted at the last second?
CM Punk's did.
He did.
Well, it was the Raw after WrestleMania, right? I think it was the Raw. Was it the Raw after the Royal Rumble? I don't remember. It was the Raw right after a pay-per-view, and he was supposed to appear, and nothing.
But he
just walked out?
But did he walk out during the show, or did he walk out? Or did he just say, guys, I'm not showing up today. That's it. Right.
I'd have to go back and check, but I'm pretty sure he was there and just left.
Yeah, because I kind of feel, and again, I don't know the story, so I'm just saying what I've heard from different reports from different people. And you're right. There's no statements released from either Sasha or Naomi to tell their story as well, right? But from different wrestling, obviously, reporters, all that was said is simply that they walked out because they didn't like the position that they were being placed in based on kind of devaluing what they are, right? And I mean, that makes sense. That actually makes sense.
No, that does make sense. And that could very well be the legitimate reason. I mean, Sasha's kind of been in that position quite a bit. She always seems to be close to the top, but then they pick someone else. And I don't know why, because she's a phenomenal talent. She works her butt off. And why she hasn't been and I mean, she gets huge responses from the crowd, and why she hasn't been given the due I think she deserves. I mean, honestly, come to AEW, make the women's division here that much better. I would love to see her fighting people like Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa. It would just be great.
But do you think, Bill, it has anything to do with egos in any way. Because I agree with you. I totally agree. Amazing athlete. I'm not downplaying. I'm not saying this is what's happening. But sometimes, like if you look at people like Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker, these are professionals, right? So they unfortunately will go out and do things they don't want to do, even though because they know that there's a bigger picture and they have to play by the rules. They are under contract. And you were right. This Sasha Banks story, this is not the first time I've heard stories like this about Sasha Banks not getting her way or not these things not happening. So part of me is kind of like, I think there's truths on both sides. I totally do. And at any point, do you think that the reason why Sasha's not being pushed is because she's sabotaging her own career at WWE, right?
Right, and maybe she needs to go through the CM Punk thing, right?
Yeah,
Because CM Punk
yeah,
would, I mean, look, as much as WWE was largely at fault for everything that happened to Punk, Punk, by his own admission, is not always an easy guy to get along
yeah,
with. I
yeah.
mean, he can sabotage himself as well. I think that he had to go through that learning experience for himself, clean up his sort of
Hmm.
mental state, get
Hmm.
healthy again, and now he's in a great place and
Yeah,
enjoying himself. Maybe Sasha needs to go through something similar. Maybe it took that kind of walkout. We don't know what she's gone through there, but you're
yeah.
right. Would everybody walk out? No. But of course, we've also seen the evidence that WWE does not grant releases when they're asked for, in spite of the
Yeah.
fact these are not employees. These are contract
Contractors.
staff that get
Agreed.
zero benefits.
Agreed.
And, anyway, so yeah, we'll have to see what happens. We'll keep them posted. Hopefully our future updates here will have more to do with the elite, though I think that Sasha Banks is pretty elite in my book.
No, she is elite. And one quick story to talk about again. And then these are just reports coming in. The fact that it's not only the WWE locker room that's kind of in a bit of shambles. AEW is also experiencing the same thing. There claims to be a lot of unhappy wrestlers at the moment. It's gonna happen. New wrestlers come in, other people get pushed down. We've seen it. Like it's gonna happen. There are wrestlers leaving. But one of the stories, as you know, Bill, as well, is that MJF is very unhappy with his contract because he was signed in 2019 when AEW started. And I'm not gonna lie, he's one of the biggest things that AEW has right now. Now, you and I, we have our opinions on MJF. We can take it or leave it at this point. But he is a big asset to AEW. And to AEW, I kind of feel like, yes, Tony Khan, you did give a contract, but if this guy is pulling as much attention to your brand more than anyone else, and he's getting paid a lot lower than some of these people, maybe you need to relook at that contract, maybe give a performance bonus or something like that, right? Because it should be fair all around. I personally, again, MJF coming out and taking his jabs at the boss. I hate that. I don't understand why he's doing that. I do get it. He's frustrated, but like there are ways to do it, right? There are professional ways to do it. But yeah, again, rumor mill, he's unhappy. There's been big backlash in the background. And that's about it. What do you think about
Yeah,
that?
I'm not surprised. It's just we've talked about the continuous signings they did last year. It's
Mhm,
just one guy after another,
mhm,
and what happened to a bunch of other people that already
mhm.
work there who are good and now they're losing their spots. Right?
Yeah,
People I wanted to see wrestle, and now guys like, Jack Evans, they're just gone.
gone.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, people like Kip Sabian probably won't be far behind. Stu Grayson's gone. And I mean, these are all really good
Hmm.
wrestlers that I really enjoyed watching, and instead I'm getting Wardlow.
Yeah.
So, and look, I get it. I've said before, the fans love him. That is not my style
Hmm.
of wrestling at
Agreed.
all.
Agreed.
So, you know, fans might love Wardlow, fans might love MJF. I'm sick to death of it. It'll be my pee break tonight. MJF, you want to go to WWE? You want to keep talking in public like that and stuff? Go for it. I
Yeah.
really don't care. There's lots of talent in I said it last week. I'll say it again. There's lots of talent there. Will it be a bit of a blow? Sure. I mean, when he gets going, his thing with CM Punk was amazing.
It's
His stuff with
fantastic.
Wardlow is boring. Maybe that's why he's frustrated. He went from this amazing
Yeah.
program with CM Punk to Cody Rhodes 2.0.
Yep.
So, yeah. Anyway. Okay. Well, we got a show to watch.
We do.
So we will be back. And we are back. Well, that was Dynamite. Whole thing full of 5-star matches. Kenny Omega is back. And then I woke up from my dream and watched Dynamite.
Yeah. I don't think we've ever predicted this incorrectly ever. Like we were so confident in our predictions on who those jokers were.
Yes.
And we did say though, what if Tony Khan had other plans,
Yep.
and things happen. So Bill, let's start.
Okay, we will start. And I was distracted there for a brief moment because my wife just finished her Wordle, and even though we live in the same house, she persists in texting it to me every single day. So anyway, okay, so Dynamite started off, and we got Samoa Joe's music welcoming us out. I'm like,
Mhm.
ooh, we're
Starting
starting
off.
off with the Joker. And the joke was on us. We got Johnny Elite.
I was like Johnny
Johnny
Elite,
Mundo.
Johnny Nitro, John Morrison, John everyone. I don't
Johnny.
know.
We just got to continue the parade of people WWE released in the last year, right? I mean, that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I mean, he's got a pedigree on the independents and stuff like that. It's not like he's just some pure WWE wrestler, but was he necessary? That's the real question. And what did you think of his introduction and the match?
Well, I mean, the fans sort of popped when for myself, I just thought it was okay. I don't know what else to say about it. Um, in terms of the match itself, it was almost by the numbers type of, John Morrison, Johnny, whatever he's calling himself these days, right? Type
Right.
match. Very, it's high flying parkour, whereas Joe is the hard hitting, just Samoa Joe. I did like it though. I really did like it. I'm like, wow, these guys are really like hitting each other. I didn't know who was gonna win, but I wasn't shocked with the end with Joe winning. It
Yeah.
was a good match. What do you think?
Well, yeah, it was good. I mean, I think in all honesty, I thought it was good because Samoa Joe looked really good. I mean, he looked like a badass in the ring tonight. It was quite good. Johnny gave him a lot. Can we just get past the first part that he should not be calling himself Johnny Elite because he is not part of the
Okay,
Elite, and I
okay.
take personal
So
offense to him
so
calling himself
yes,
Johnny
I
Elite.
agree. I didn't touch on that, but you're totally right. I was like, Johnny Elite, when did you join the Elite exactly? Like,
Hmm.
if the Young Bucks and Cole and everyone and Red Dragon came out and just beat the crap out of him, I would be like, okay, yeah, you deserve that because how dare you
Yes,
use that name?
right, exactly. Exactly. Though they were busy, yeah, but we'll get to that later. Yeah, anyway, I did appreciate JR going through Johnny's history.
Mhm,
That was
mhm.
pretty good, letting the audience know, hey, this isn't just a WWE guy. This guy's been around, right? Now, I had a little bit of a problem with his wrestling. I've always had a problem though with his wrestling
Yeah.
because although his holds are good, he's high flying, he's got now that we've seen the level of guys we've got, like the Ray Phoenixes, the Pacs of the world, and you see him missing the 450 splash
Yeah.
almost completely,
But
you
but
know?
but that was okay. So just to touch on that 450 splash, um, Samoa Joe was really far when he went up on the ropes. I was like, wait, what exactly is he gonna try to hit here? And when he went for the 450, I'm like, no, there's no way you're gonna hit that 450. He tried to recover from it by
By a frog hop,
yeah.
yeah. Boing. Really,
but
I hit it, yeah.
but yeah, I didn't know. I had no idea what he was going for. That they should have maybe rehearsed that one a little bit more. But yeah, I agree with you on that.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean there was that whole he kind of missed Joe off the top rope to the floor, I think just before the commercial break at one point too. You know, Joe got smart to his whatever he's going to call the Starship Pain now.
Yeah, whatever it is.
Yeah, like because Joe immediately put his knees up, but didn't actually put his knees over his own stomach. He just put his knees over his leg area because, as we all know, that's where Johnny Elite always hits his finishing move on the other guy's legs.
Yeah,
So I liked the match. It was a good
same,
match. I enjoy it. I
same.
was, hey, in spite of my little quibbles with Johnny Elite, he's good.
Hmm.
He's better than Wardlow. So I'm not I don't hate him. As a Joker in this thing, I mean, okay, fine. We got
Yeah,
some guy that came in as a surprise.
whatever.
Samoa Joe killed him, and we move on. And then
Thank
after
you.
the match, we got the some shenanigans going on there with what's their name? Why is my brain suddenly
Is it
freezing on?
you mean like Rohit Raju
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
and yeah.
yeah. Yeah, they
Uh
all. Why am I blanking on his name? I mean, I've watched this guy wrestle for years, and my mind has suddenly decided to turn me into
the
the
guy who
old
yells
guy,
out Shivani all the
Jay
time.
Lethal.
Jay Lethal, there you
Jay
go.
Lethal. Thank you very much. Yes, Jay Lethal and his cronies came out
Yeah.
and were beating down Joe, and then the best friends came out and saved
Yeah.
Joe.
Yeah. Well,
I mean,
as you mentioned, Wheeler Yuta, I think is in Japan right now, right at the fighting. So sorry, Wheeler Yuta. I don't know why I brought him up. I totally forgot he's not part of the best friends anymore. But yeah, that I was like Wheeler Yuta. Wait a minute.
we're having a good 2 minutes here. All right, yeah.
But yeah, no. They came out. They they helped, I guess, and I didn't really get. I didn't know there was a battle between them. I guess they have to start some type of feud now. Maybe that's probably why they did it. But I was kind of like I was already finished. I was already done with this match once it ended.
Yeah,
I didn't care about the
yeah.
shenanigans at the ending.
Yeah, all I wrote down was shenanigans, best friends. Okay. And then we had the Jeff Hardy backstage segment where, the interviewer is like, "You've been cleared for your match tonight." And he and Matt are, yay. And then the Young Bucks show off in their completely show up in their completely awesome outfits.
Agreed. I was like, for some reason, I guess my phone auto corrected. It says LOL the tabs, but it should have said LOL the Bucks. I have no clue.
The tabs.
Yeah, the Bucks. I'm so happy they're back to their old heel selves. They're just hilarious. The whole threat that if they show up in the match, they're gonna have to deal not only with like Adam Cole won't be the only one getting his butt whooped at the end of the night. It's gonna be the Bucks too. And I was like, oh, this is interesting. Obviously this is setting up for a double or nothing Bucks versus Hardy's match. So
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
I thought it was funny. The Bucks are just hilarious, right?
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah,
I was all in for it.
and Matt was completely wrong, by the way. The Bucks have always been better than the
Oh
Hardys.
yeah, yeah. Always calling them the wannabe Hardys. No.
Yeah.
You wish you were as good as the Bucks.
Right. Next up, we had a match that we actually didn't talk about when we did our predictions earlier, and it's Konosuke Takeshita versus Hangman Adam Page with CM Punk on commentary.
Yep.
What did you think of this match?
I've seen Takeshita fight on Dark before. He very, very young guy. I think very new to this. Not I shouldn't say very new to the sport, just very new to AEW. You know what? I was back and forth with this match and another match tonight on what was going to be my match of the night. That's how much I enjoyed this match. I really did. I didn't expect it. I didn't think that it was going to be this good. And you know what? I'm going to have to say this, but for the longest time, I've always been saying it hasn't been Adam Page. It's been the people he fights that really propels him forward. But I don't know anymore. After this match, I kind of feel like Adam Page may be the one who's actually really, really good, because as far as I know, I've seen Takeshita fight on Dark. He was good, but the things they did in this match, I'm like, no way. Like, he didn't even try those things in the Dark match, which is great. He didn't. But I love this match. I thought it was hard hitting. I thought it was fast. I thought the moves, like it wasn't like a rest hold kind of like let's like rest hold each other or submissions, or like no, they were hitting each other. The reversals off the top, I was like, what? And these guys, Takeshita's like 6'3" and Cole's like 6'1". So watching these big guys go at it like this, like Vince wishes his big guys could do this, right? I was actually shocked at how much I love this match. And that's why I said this match almost got my match of the night. It almost stole the match of the night, but it didn't. It wasn't all. And what I also loved about this match was the storytelling, because it ended with now Page giving his finisher, or giving CM Punk's finisher to Takeshita, which this loss doesn't hurt Takeshita in any way. Well, this kid is just going up from here. I loved it. I thought it was fantastic, and yeah, I'm kind of excited now for the Page versus Punk match at Double or Nothing. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think you're dead on. This match was phenomenal. I wasn't expecting it to be
Mhm.
phenomenal. You know, Takeshita's good, but I didn't think he was this good. And I think you're
Exactly.
absolutely right about Hangman. You know, he's slowly bringing me around.
Hmm.
I can't put him up there in my top tier of guys that I like, but he's good.
He's
You
really
know,
good. Yeah.
yeah, and this match was great. I mean, the storytelling in the match itself too was really good. You
Yeah.
know, you had those moments where Takeshita was selling the neck after the pile
Yes.
driver,
Yes.
right? And then when he does his stalling German back and he's supposed to pin him, he couldn't hold the pin because he sold the neck. And it was really good wrestling
Yep.
too.
Yep.
Right? It wasn't just a young guy who was going to show off some flashy moves. It
Hmm.
was a young guy that proves he knows the fundamentals, which is what I like about a lot of the Japanese wrestlers, right?
Yeah.
They learn the fundamentals first. You got to learn how to sell before you learn how to do the fancy stuff, right?
Agreed.
CM Punk on commentary again. Amazing.
Yep.
The anxious millennial cowboy. I'm going to love that. I'm sure now that you have decided you're actually part of the millennial generation, I'm sure that insulted you, but you know, the punk shot lariat.
Oh man. Yeah.
Loved it. Anyway, yeah, so those are just some other highlights. But what I also liked about CM Punk on commentary was he was explaining why he and Hangman are having matches like this.
Hmm.
You
Hmm.
know, and I thought that really added to this match too. It's like you want to take on this good competition because it keeps you going, it keeps you in shape, it keeps you sharp, and so that's why Hangman's facing you know, Takeshita. And what a great match! I didn't love his GTS. I thought his GTS looked a
Yeah.
little sloppy, but oh man, great match, surprisingly good match.
Surprisingly good match. Yeah.
Yeah, and I kind of like the face off between Punk and
Hmm.
Hangman at the end. You're right. I am more this they did their job. I'm
Yep.
more hyped now for the match at Double or Nothing than I was before this match.
Exactly. They're making Hangman as a champion actually like they're validating that now, and I'm like, this is great. Like
Yep.
I'm actually to the point where I'm like, man, am I cheering for Hangman a little bit here? Because I was cheering for Takeshita in this match, and then when the match went, I was like, wow, these guys are really good. Like
Yeah.
I couldn't cheer against either of them.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, you know what? I'm excited for Hangman versus Punk now. So AW did your job and you did it well.
Yes. Yes. Very, very good match. And after this, I just have one question for you.
Was that?
Does Fuego del Sol have a death wish?
It's funny. I didn't even write that down because I took that as like almost like a commercial that came up.
I know, right?
And the funny thing is he Fuego. Listen, you called out what's called why am I blanking on the
House of
name?
Black.
You call it the House of Black. They destroy you every single time. You then come out and you say, you know, House of Black, you've been harassing me for the past month. You've been calling them out for the last month and just getting whipped. And your answer is to call out the Dark Order to help you.
Yes.
Good luck with
Who
that.
have already been killed by
No.
the House of Black
House of Black.
too.
Good luck, Fago. Good luck.
Yeah. Yep. So basically our answer is yes, Fuego
Yes.
del Sol has a death wish. He just wants to get crushed by the House of Black. Okay,
Yep.
cool. Moving along, we have Swerve Strickland and Keith Lee,
Mhm.
who are now a tag team in the WWE style of not having a tag team name. They're just Swerve Strickland and Keith Lee.
Keith
Swerve
Lee.
and Lee. Yeah, exactly, with their almost mashed up theme music. Careful there, guys. Versus the Workhorsemen, who didn't get any theme music, which should make them really offended, as we learned last week. This match, we didn't talk about this match because we weren't aware it was happening when we recorded our show earlier.
Exactly.
Okay, so it was pretty much a squash match for Swerve and Lee. What did you think?
Yeah, I mean, Swerve and Lee, like I think they're phenomenal wrestlers. I think they're awesome. It's actually fun to see them work together and like see the big guy and like they're like, seriously the big guy and the smaller guy kind of team up. Like Swerve is such a great high flyer. Keith Lee tries to do that kind of stuff, and I'm always like, it's good, but also it's a little bit dangerous when you're doing this. So Keith Lee, maybe leave that stuff to Swerve because Swerve is so fluid in his movement that I'm like, this guy's such a great high flyer. What was WWE thinking? Anyways, besides that, I think they're a good tag team. I knew it was gonna happen. Squash match, as you said. And I could have called exactly what was going to happen. What were we saying last week, Bill? There's going to be a
Exactly.
six-man
I
tag,
wrote that
right?
down. I actually wrote this down. Krishna was right.
I said that there's going to be a six-man tag
Yeah.
team at Double or Nothing, but next Wednesday, that match that was announced, it's going to be Swerve versus Ricky Starks versus Jungle Boy in a three-way three-man. That is going to be an awesome match.
Yes.
And I'm going to say now that might be the match of the night because those guys can go. So
can they ever? Yeah,
I can't wait.
You know, I wasn't real sold on Swerve, Strickland, and Keith Lee, but their tag team's winning me over. I enjoy watching them in the ring. This is the perfect role for Keith Lee. He's going to keep trying the high-flying stuff because he's been known for that his whole career. And I don't mind it, but you're right. When he's next to Swerve Strickland, he looks sloppy.
Yeah.
Even though it's amazing that he can pull this stuff off. I love their finishing move. My God, it looked like they just killed the guy. So, yeah, that was great. Christian was actually mildly amusing on his promo.
Yeah. You're dressed like the guy that plays golf with my dad.
Yeah. And then talking about, like what, now you're graduating and you'd like a real title.
Yeah. So, yeah. When he called it out, I was like, what have we been saying?
Yeah, exactly.
The FTR title.
Yeah,
FTW title.
Exactly. The FTR title.
The FTR title.
Might as well be the FTR title, right? Oh, and yeah, now we have a very quick promo segment from Chris Statlander and Red Velvet.
Yeah, I guess they got to build up the fact they're facing off against each other in the Owen Hart competition, right? They both have, both people have changed their gimmicks. Red Velvet's not a good guy. She's no longer wearing red. She's part of that baddies crew, and Chris Statlander is no longer an alien. So they've
changed.
Yeah, they're both have changed, and they're both fighting each other. Does anybody still care about this match? I was like, whatever. Okay.
Well, you know what didn't change? They're both terrible at promos.
Yes, correct.
Exactly. So moving on to okay. So we it's weird because we always get these really good starts to Dynamite. I'm starting to see a real pattern developing. We get the start, we get a couple strong matches, we're really into it, and then we hit a lull, which started with the Statlander and Velvet promo, and now we're into MJF and Wardlow. Did you take a pee break during this? Or?
I did, and I came back. I was just back in time, obviously, when it started, and they did the whole entrances. I had missed that a bit, but I saw the 10 lashes. Like it was by the numbers kind of like thing. What I must give credit to is like Wardlow's being built to be this huge superstar. Like I'm giving credit to AEW. They're doing a good job of building him. He didn't even flinch. Like those shots were real. Those marks in his back were this guy didn't even flinch at getting smacked with those belts. I was like, oh my God, what the like if you want to build someone up, hey, that's the way to do it, right? And then obviously the cheap shots at the end and stuff like that, and then it's just beating him down. I'm like, yeah, this is the way to build him. You've already built him, but you're just building him to the moon at this point. So credit to AEW on that. Again, it was by the numbers. We could have just called exactly what was going to happen here. Was I entertained? It was no. I was like, okay, when it was finished, I was like, okay, whatever. It did its job, but overall, I'm kind of like I'm over this back and forth thing. So yeah, I'm over it.
Yeah, no, you're completely right though. The fans love him. I heard some other people talking about how they're doing a perfect job of building up Wardlow. They've got a superstar on their hands. This is so engaging. It's like, okay, I'm glad you guys all think that because I'm not engaged. I'm bored. I don't care about wrestlers like Wardlow. From an objective, I can analyze this point of view. Yeah, okay, I get it. They're building Wardlow into a star. They love him, blah, 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 blah. I'm going to have to put... Hey, look, if I'm going to watch AEW, I'm going to have to put up with Wardlow.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's fine. You know what I don't like putting up with, though? MJF's really bad spray tan job. Did you see his hands?
I did. Orange.
They were orange, and it was like having a farmer's tan spray tan. It was terrible. Anyway, so that was my highlight, was MJF's really bad spray tan. Yep. So, of course, then we get a quick promo right before our 9 p.m. segment. The Roppongi Vice is back. Krishna, are you hyped?
So I only know about Roppongi Vice because they were, remember they were supposed to wrestle on I think it was Dark or it was Dynamite a couple months back, and then um uh who's the guy with the keep forgetting his name, the guy with the eye patch, uh not Trent, but the other guy, of Roppongi
Why
Vice.
am why am I now forget? Oh, Rocky Romero.
Rocky Romero, right? I remember him getting COVID, and that's why he had to
Yeah,
cancel the match.
exactly. Yeah.
Um, am I excited? First of all, I didn't even. Did I miss something? FDR has the ROH Tag Team Championships as well. Yes, they do. They won it
Yes, they
at.
do.
Yes, they have all of them. They have
They won it
AW.
at the ROH,
Yeah, no, sorry, they don't
that
have
big
AW.
event they had
Yes, they
recently.
have the
Yeah.
ROH. So yes. So the challenge for this, I'm like, you know what? Yeah. Do I care about Roppongi Vice? No. Trent and Rocky are great wrestlers. They'll probably get put in a good match. But come on, you're going up against FDR. FDR is like the Bucks and then FDR. So let's be real here, right?
Yep.
So FDR is going to destroy you, but it's going to be a good match. So that's what I'm in for.
Yes, yeah. I mean, Roppongi Vice is good.
Mhm.
Don't forget, they're one of the main tag teams in the Chaos faction in New Japan.
Yeah.
So, we do have Forbidden Door coming up. So, the fact that they're reforming this New Japan tag team, good news.
Mm-hmm.
They've been teasing it for a while, but man, them against FTR, we know Trent Beretta can go. Rocky Romero was great in the ring versus FTR. I'm down.
Same.
Yep.
Same.
Can't wait.
I'm in for it.
Yep, you got it. And I was definitely in for the next match. 9 a.m. segment, we start off with Kyle O'Reilly versus Rey Fenix.
So I stated in our predictions that this is going to be my match of the night, and I was correct. This was my match of the night. It was so good in terms of like Rey Fenix being the high flyer, right, and O'Reilly being the mat wrestler, kind of like takedown. The whole kind of like Rey Fenix going for like again hard hitting. Holy crap! And man, can Rey and Kyle sell things? Like Rey selling the damaged arm, the arm that he had damaged previously, right? Like he was out for months, like missing some jumps, couldn't even get Kyle up in certain things. I was like, this is the ending made so much sense that I'm like, this is what they're building for. Like this is what I was thoroughly entertained. The hits, the reversals, like Kyle was reversing a lot of stuff, and I loved it. I'm like, whoa, I didn't see that coming, right? They were taking the battle from inside the ring, outside the ring, on top of the top rope, everywhere. Like, I don't understand how Fenix runs across the rope, kicks people, flips, like he did that the Hurricanrana off the apron, like he jumped off the top rope onto Kyle, flipped him up. I was like, Rey is insane, down to the part where Rey he couldn't he was trying to do his move and he couldn't get him up because of the shoulder, and then just trying to fight Kyle off at the ending when Kyle had him in that lock, just trying to get the arm, and the ending he just couldn't do it, and Kyle got the arm and made him tap. I was like, this was perfect selling. I believed every second of this match. It made sense. It was so entertaining. It wasn't like last week where you're like watching Jeff Hardy and Darby Allin kill themselves and you're looking away because it's you're afraid someone's gonna die. Like this was just an amazing match, and it was definitely my match of the night.
Oh yeah, me too. Match of the night, hands down.
Yeah.
See, this is the difference between a Rey Fenix and some of the younger high-flying guys, right? Or Seth Rollins. Rey Fenix has that same Young Bucks thing now, because the Young Bucks didn't do this when they first started out either. They learned to do this, the selling.
Yep.
Right, the selling. Rey Fenix was masterful in this. Come on, that classic swing between the ropes he always does, and he hit it later in the match. But the first time he does it, his arm gives out.
And he falls through it.
He falls through it.
Yeah.
Did you see how he shifted the power bomb to do it with one arm, and they were talking about his innovative offense? I'm like, my God, the dude does a one-arm power bomb to compensate for the off arm, right?
Yeah.
Swapping the headlock, just little things like that. Like, oh, I got him. Oh no, this arm needs to,
exactly.
Yeah, it was just phenomenal. And that little bit at this whole start of the match, even when it started off with Kyle O'Reilly establishing, I'm going to be on the ground in this match. And he even starts on the ground, daring Rey Fenix to come at him. It was just so well done. Did you see the knee? I love this knee Kyle O'Reilly does during the picture-in-picture.
Yeah, I did see
He
it.
has him down. Yeah, the one where he comes up and he drills him, but it's almost like a stop
Yep.
drill. Like I don't even know how to describe it. It is such a hard hitting, vicious looking knee that he does. I just loved it. I loved everything about this match. The finish, like you said, was perfect.
Perfect.
You know, he gets him in the one arm, realizes it's not the hurt arm, flips him around, and then uses his leg for leverage to force him to break his hand lock.
Yep.
You know, and then an instant tap, not even a hesitation, which just totally sells how vicious Kyle O'Reilly's arm lock is and how bad Ray Phoenix's arm was, right? Just perfect, perfect, perfect. So yeah, I loved it.
Yeah, and again, I've never seen a sell so awesome. Like Phoenix was selling this match perfect. I
Yeah.
don't know what's
Yeah.
changed, but he's like, I haven't seen this before, but he's been doing such a good job in selling. You're right, like power bombs and everything. And just a quick shout out, I totally forgot this, but the Hangman and Takeshita match, that power bomb that Hangman took from Takeshita,
Man, yeah.
holy crap. I was like, and that's why I was like, wow, this match is fantastic. So again,
Yep.
just again, shout out to that match. But this match was the match of the night.
Yep.
Just barely, it was match of the night. I feel bad because that match was, in any other night, any other event, Hangman and Takeshita would have been match of the night. But you had these two guys going at it, and yeah, perfect.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. Yeah, my match of the night too.
Yeah.
And then we moved into what we thought was going to be an amazing segment. We had the Blackpool Combat Club and Jericho Appreciation Society, Jericho facing off with William Regal. Was it as good as we thought it was going to be, Krishna?
It was like just the they just stood across from each other. They threw insults back and forth, and like some things I was kind of like, ooh, that's kind of risky saying there, right? But hey, it's what they agreed upon, like calling Mox out about his alcoholism, about Danielson being such a nerd. Yes, he's never done anything wrong. But what I did like was the fact that the Jericho Appreciation Society were basically poking holes in the Blackpool Combat Club and the other three, Eddie and Santana Ortiz, and they say, hey, do you remember when you guys said this, or do you remember when you did this, right? To the point where at the ending they were actually fighting each other in the ring. I don't know about the match. I was actually kind of getting a little bit excited when they said, hey, it's going to be the third annual Stadium Stampede, because the Stadium Stampede, when we first heard about it, we're like, oh crap, what the hell is this? But so far, two times they've had it, they've been fun. They've been fun matches to watch, right? I wouldn't mind doing that, but then hearing Moxley say, oh, it's going to be an anything goes, you call it whatever you want kind of match, I'm kind of like, well, do we really need that much blood? Like, let's have just fun, guys. Let's have some fun here. But you can tell this is going to be like that bloods and guts. We all tell you bloods and guts all over again. So
yeah, you wanted Stadium Stampede Sports Entertainment, and
yes,
they're going to give you Blood and Guts
Blood
Combat
and Guts.
Club.
Yeah,
or maybe it'll be a little bit of both.
Hopefully.
Yeah, I remember I was going on about Jericho and how much I liked his stuff and how he's redone his character and stuff.
Yep.
Okay, one, I don't think AEW scripts their promos as much as WWE does.
No, they don't.
I don't, because if they were going to make this about William Regal's drug addiction,
I know,
Mox's alcoholism, like he went hard after the addictions, and especially when you've got two guys whose stories are such strong ones of recovery. I mean, Mox is still young in his recovery too, which is a rough time. Yeah. That's a rough time for an addict, right? I mean, William Regal's been through hell. If you've heard him on, was it Talk is Jericho? I can't remember which show he was on, where he actually went through his story, and it was just like, it's incredible what this man has been through. And I'm sure he's completely fine with Jericho doing this, right? But did they need to?
No.
There are other ways to go at this.
There were.
I mean, they could have taken the sports entertainer versus wrestling route, right? Yeah. Which they've done. I mean, maybe that would have been too safe. I don't know. But it sounded like Jericho was trying to get personal. And then, okay, look, Jericho, admittedly, outside of wrestling, talks about being this happily married guy. Can you stop saying, oh, yeah, just send your girl over? I'm like, dude, you're married.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell, dude? Anyway, yeah, so I wasn't And then the fireball line at the end, because of how serious he tried to make it, just fell flat to me.
Because he's a
It's
wizard.
like,
That's why.
and I like the line,
Yeah.
but it's a sports entertainment style line in a promo that was just, I'm gonna trash these guys for their
Yeah.
addictions and him being a nerd.
Yeah. They should have just been the goofballs they always are, and that would have been
Right.
better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then let's turn to Regal for a second.
Yeah.
Because he was even worse than Jericho.
I know.
I really wanted
I
that
know.
promo was garbage.
Yeah.
Guys, I've stuck your toothbrush up my butt.
My butt. That's
it.
McMahon.
That was it. That was his whole promo.
That's
this
a
is
Vince
the
McMahon
man.
promo.
It is. It was. Listen, this is the guy who cut the segment about the scar on the face and stuff. That's the William Regal I expected here, not ha ha, your toothbrushes were up my butt. Like, what are we, 3 years old? I bet Vince McMahon watches this segment later and laughs his ass off, because he'll find this really funny. But I did like what you liked about it, the poking the holes in their relationship, because he was right. The eye for an eye match that was actually the good one. Yeah. That was another subtle little jab there. But yeah, he was right. And then, you saw the breakdown between the Blackpool Combat Club and Eddie Kingston's gang of thugs. So
let's just say this, like, going back to reality, like actually touching on things that happened, this promo was not the best one of the night when it came to talking about things that were real and that's happened.
You are correct.
So let's continue.
Yes, let's. And I don't think you meant the sudden cutaway from the action going on in the ring, because, oh my God, we've got to cram everything into this show, because, man, we had to have Swerve squash. Anyway, Matt Sydal and Dante Martin want to challenge the Blackpool Combat Club because, according to them, they're now falling apart. So they're ripe for us to fight. Yeah,
the Blackpool Combat Club are not falling apart. It's the groups that are together that are not meshing with each other. I guess the good thing out of this is Matt Sydal's okay again. Like his leg injury is fine, and he's with obviously Dante Martin. So it'll be the high flyers versus the like rough and tough like mat wrestlers, I guess. That should be an interesting match. I do feel like, again, it's gonna be like a squash match. So
it'll be a tune-up match for the Blackpool Combat
Club with a
little bit of extra stuff.
Do you feel like AEW is dropping the ball a little bit with Brian Danielson?
They have a lot of guys in the main event scene right now. Right now, it's CM Punk's turn.
Okay, right? I see what you're saying.
Yeah, and we still have to have that definitive match between Kenny Omega and Brian Danielson.
Yeah, that's true.
So I think this is a really good use of Brian Danielson for now. I'm not so sure it's dropping the ball as much as keeping him in the spotlight with the Combat Club. He's there. He comes out. He's getting the pops. His time will come. His time to really shine is coming.
The Elite versus the Blackpool Combat Club when Kenny gets back. Oh, okay. All right. I'm sold. Never mind.
Yeah, no, they're not dropping the ball. They're biding their time.
Cool.
Yes. Then in the classic 9:30 spot, because it's 9:30, so that means it's time for the one women's match on Dynamite every week. This was also coincidentally the time in which my wife came downstairs again. I'm like, you're just in time for your favorite wrestler. My wife works in the dental field, for all of you listening. Dr. Britt Baker, D.M.D, to which my wife's only comment was, my God, look at her abs. Yes, versus Maki Hari. Am I pronouncing her name correctly?
Is it Maki Ito?
Maki Ito? Oh, Ito. Yes, you're right. Maki Ito. Why did I say Maki Hari? Maki Ito. You are correct. Completely correct. My bad. So, yes, she was
the Joker. Again, as I said, how far away did we thought we called out Ember Moon, we called out Cesaro, we called out anyone else except Maki Ito and Johnny Elite, John Morris, whatever you want to call him. Yeah, remember what I said? Like I had said, I was afraid that there wasn't gonna be chemistry. The good thing is that these two have actually fought before, so that was good. The match was good. It was just like the minute that they announced it was Maki Ito, I'm like, oh, so Britt won. Britt's won this match already.
Yeah, exactly.
It was good. Again, it wasn't like a match for me at the end of the day because it didn't have that pop. At this point, I was pretty much like the audience, kind of like really not in it. But yeah, That was it. It was okay.
Yeah, no, it was, 3 seconds into Maki Ito's entrance,
I know. It was
I
annoying.
I was ready to Britt kill her in 3 seconds. I was just, okay, kill this. I mean, she's Britt's former tag team partner,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So, but in spite of that comedy at the beginning and stuff, as the match went on, I was sold more into it, right? I mean, she's actually a good wrestler.
She is.
She does that really exaggerated Japanese comedy style, which we've seen before in some other wrestlers too. But their match actually turned out to be pretty decent.
Yeah. It's good.
Like they can wrestle.
Hmm.
So that part of it was okay. But I mean, why did we need this? I mean, did we have to have a Joker here just because the men's side had a Joker? I mean,
Yeah, yeah,
why?
that's exactly what it is. Remember I said that last week? I'm like,
Yeah.
I feel like they only are having a women's Joker because they need to have a women's Joker, right?
Yeah. It's ridiculous because I mean, they have so many women in the back that could have taken that spot.
Yeah,
Why are they just bringing in someone? I mean, she's been used in AEW before, so it's not like this is like someone completely unknown coming
yeah,
in out of nowhere permanently. But
agreed.
I mean, you could have had a feud built up briefly or some back and forth between Britt and whoever her opponent was. Instead, we had Britt going, I don't know who I'm fighting. I don't know who I'm fighting. And it turns out to be a joke anyway.
Yeah,
So,
the
I mean,
joke,
who cares?
the joke was on
Yeah.
us, I guess, at
Yeah.
that point, right?
You're telling me. Yeah, the joke was on us. So,
And this was the worst match of the night. And then that's not even saying that. So I'm not saying this is a bad match. I'm
mhm.
saying in general, if you're comparing every single match on this card,
Yeah.
this was the worst one on the card, right?
Yeah. And again, it's the women's match at
Yeah,
9:30.
yeah.
So, I mean, something needs to be done about the women's division. You've got some
Mhm.
amazing women there, some great talent, some solid promos, and you're wasting it. I see more Jade Cargill every week than I do anyone else, and
Yeah,
she bores me to tears. So,
agreed.
anyway, then we had our main event of the evening.
Well, before that, actually, just
Oh,
before that, we had the Serena D promo
oh
where
yeah, how
where
could I forget
yeah,
that? Yeah,
where
yeah, yeah.
Tony Schiavone went to the ring and was brutally interrupted by Serena Deeb.
Yes.
And this is what I was talking about earlier in terms of when you want to bring in like what happened to you in real life, then bring it in this way. And Serena
Yes.
Deeb just literally just spewed everything that she went through, and she didn't obviously name where it happened, but she talked about the fact that she had to get breast implants. She
Yeah.
had to shave her head, like all these things she went through. And she was so annoyed that they thought that she couldn't do it. She couldn't beat Thunder Rosa, to the point where I want her to beat Thunder Rosa now.
Yeah, I know, like
Right?
she came across as sympathetic because
Yeah.
and what I found annoying though was the crowd was kind of still turning on her a
Against her.
bit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's well, I mean, it's a Texas crowd, so
No, but
no,
but technically she's the bad guy, right? So it wouldn't matter what
yeah,
they say, what she said.
yeah,
It's kind of like she's the bad guy, so it doesn't matter. But she was just like spouting truth,
yeah.
and
Oh,
I was like,
I
wow, like I couldn't, like, just her talking about everything she's been through, and I was like, you know what? I want you to win. I want you. I want you
Yeah,
to get the belt.
and talking about how tough it was to be a woman in
Yeah.
those times
Yeah.
wrestling and what she went through, and it was
Yeah.
just, yeah, I do want her to have. I mean, I really liked her before this, and after that promo, and I know, like, there's a reason her holds are named the way that they're named,
Yeah.
right? I mean, so she's been through a hell of a lot,
Hmm.
and it would just be amazing to see her succeed in this. I'd
Agreed.
love to see her get a run with the title at some point because
Yeah.
that would be phenomenal.
Agreed.
Anyway, now we move on to the main event after what I thought was an amazing promo segment. We have Jeff Hardy versus Adam Cole.
Yep. And this match was exactly what I thought it was going to be. I thought I didn't expect Jeff to not Jeff. I didn't expect Adam to just run out and attack Jeff during his entrance. And then the match was great, back and forth. It was hard hitting. You know what? It was a good match. Like Jeff Hardy and Adam Cole can have good matches. They're just good wrestlers. But you know what? It ended the way I expected it to. Like there were some points where I thought, okay, wait, are they gonna make Adam Cole lose this match? What the hell's going on, right?
Yeah.
But it did end obviously with Adam Cole winning. I was happy about it. I was more excited about the ending, right? Where like, Adam Cole kind of sets up to super kick Matt Hardy, and then he doesn't. And then both the Hardys get up, and the Bucks are behind them, and they're about to super kick them, but they don't. And then Red Dragon comes out, and they all just beat down the Hardys. I was like, I like where this is going, because, like, again, the heels, we know it's going to be set up for the Double or Nothing, and I'm all in for it. It's this match.
No pun intended.
Yeah, I'm all in for Double or Nothing. Again, any other day, any other wrestling, I guess, wrestling events or different wrestling people. I shouldn't say people, but like WWE, this would have been like a top tier match, right? Like this would outdo most of the matches they have on their cards, right? But again, we're in AEW, so I already said what my match of the night was, and this match was good. I enjoyed it, but it was kind of like by the numbers kind of match. So I was like, it was good, great. It was good, almost being great, but I knew it was gonna happen, and I was already like, euphoric from what's happened before. So really, I enjoyed it. Good match, great ending. What'd you think?
The match was good.
Yeah.
It wasn't much. I mean, they had less than 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So you knew immediately it was going to be quick, even though they always come on with the announcement. We know we're going on as long as you guys never go past the hour. Okay. Yeah. Don't even bother saying that. We know it's ending at 10 o'clock. I love the opening attack. That was great. Of course, that also meant we had to miss Adam Cole's entrance, but that's okay. There was a little, I liked most of the match, but there was a bit of sloppiness. And that sloppiness kind of took me out of the match a couple times. Cole, in spite of the fact JR's like, that timing was amazing. Way to cover for him, because he missed.
Yeah.
The timing just was like look, I've made comments before about JR not being on, but this man knows his job and how to do it properly. So, I mean, that was some masterful covering up. Adam, and this, I don't believe this was Adam Cole. I don't think any of these were actually Adam Cole's fault, right? Because Jeff Hardy takes Adam Cole out in the wrong spot to then set him up for the senton. And it was one of the worst, I'm going to slide over to the right positions I've seen in a long time in a ring. And it just looked bad. I'm like, I don't mind a little bit, like the guy rolls a bit to put himself in position. You got to do that kind of stuff. It's like he slid a good 5 feet across the ring to put himself in position for a senton and thank God the idea was to roll out of the way of the senton, because, it's Jeff Hardy's senton. It was a little bit sloppy, and that took me out of the match a bit. I mean, the ending was perfect. I like the post-match stuff a lot for all the same reasons you did. I'm looking forward to the Hardys versus the Young Bucks, because, my God, can I just see the Young Bucks in a tag match, please?
Yeah, agreed.
And also, this meant that my boy, Brandon Cutler, was at ringside.
Was at ringside?
And you'll know, for the listeners at home, I am wearing my Brandon Cutler t-shirt right now. Sold to me personally by Brandon Cutler. So, yes. Anyway, it was a good match. It was nowhere near the match of the night, which we already know what my match of the night was. It was the same as yours. And you know what I found kind of odd? Did we completely miss the Excalibur vomiting of 3 million matches, or did he just not do it tonight?
He didn't do it tonight. He didn't have to do it tonight.
that was bizarre, because it's almost like right before the main event you usually get that, let's see how many matches Excalibur can announce in 10 seconds. And wow, I was like, wait, where did that go tonight? He didn't do it tonight. One of my least favorite parts about that post-match beatdown, though, was when Sting and Darby came out, and Sting was basically Hulk Hogan on roids, and everything that hit him, he just no-sold the heck out of. Why is he so tough? He's a 60-plus-year-old man taking chair shots from a young guy. And he's like, no effect, sorry. And then my favorite line, JR yelling just before they went off the air, a tragedy has occurred. So that was Dynamite.
Yeah, it was. I again, just to jump up what you were saying earlier about JR, I agree with you 100%. JR really kind of save some of these matches today. Like even when Johnny Nitro, whatever you want to call John Morrison, whatever, when he tried to do that 450 splash and it was almost a miss, JR actually covered for that as well. So I knew he was on his game tonight. So I was like, okay, cool. JR, you and Excalibur, I understand it now. Like you know what you're doing. So yeah, that was Dynamite. Again, I don't think it obviously was at Omega level, but some of the matches were absolutely fantastic today. I must say that, you know what? Yeah, there were some minor lulls tonight, but overall tonight's show was great. I actually thought today's show was actually really good.
Yeah, no, it was a very good show. I was thoroughly entertained for most of it. There was a couple moments where I was like, yeah, like you said, like I can do without Wardlow. But I think for anybody who's also into Wardlow, they probably would have loved this show from start to finish.
Mhm.
Right? I mean, there was something here for almost everybody.
Agreed.
It was a solid Dynamite. The surprises, though not amazing surprises, not necessarily top tier surprises, weren't bad enough for anybody to go, oh yeah, well that really sucked, right? I mean, both of them were still decent, right? I mean, the Britt Baker and her, they put on a good match still
They
by the
did.
end of it. So, I can't complain that hard about anything that happened. So overall, but again, a Dynamite without Kenny Omega, it did not reach
The
the
Omega
Omega
level.
level.
Agreed.
It needs my phrase to sum it up tonight once again is, although we had some, still needs more elite.
Yeah, and I concur. Like we need more elite, like just little splashes of them here and there. I it doesn't matter. I don't think it works. But again, I think when Kenny comes back, we're gonna get a lots of elite. So, yeah. I think overall I agree with you today. It was a good Dynamite. One thing, Bill, and I totally forgot this during our segment of keeping up with elite. Um, did you hear anything about Kota Ibushi?
I heard he's having trouble with New Japan.
Yeah, and with Forbidden Door coming up, like this is just sad news for me. Like I was really kind of hoping Kota he was going to be there, but yeah, he actually on Twitter himself had gone
Mhm.
off a bit and said that there was like, you know, I don't want to get into it, but he was talking about the fact that people there were abusing their power and putting the wrestlers in very awkward situations. I'll just leave it at that. And he wasn't happy. He wasn't happy with New Japan. He said he was gonna basically just out them for everything that they've done. So as of today, I was reading a quick article on it. Like he has not been fired by New Japan. So I'm thinking they're trying to resolve this, offline, in a professional
Mhm.
way. But clearly something's happened that really set him off, right? So
Yeah, for
like
sure.
it would suck. Like I really did want him to be there, part of the New Japan AEW crossover. It'd be amazing to see the Golden Lovers again, and anything like even Ibushi just with the elite, just anything like that. But yeah, sad news. These are things you just don't want to hear, right? You don't want to even think
Yeah.
about what's happening.
Yeah, no, you're completely right. And it is unfortunate. It's we're in kind of a strange transitional era for wrestling in a
Yeah.
way, right? The women speaking out movement really
Mm-hmm.
changed things and for the better, right? I
Mm-hmm.
mean, you listen to what Serena Deeb went through just in her promo
Yeah.
tonight, and you don't want that to happen to
No.
anybody. The amount of abuse. I mean, you watch some of those Dark Side of the Rings, the plane ride from hell and that
Mm-hmm.
kind of stuff, right? It's I'm really glad that wrestling culture is slowly changing.
Yeah. Agreed.
Um, it's I'm hopeful that whatever comes out of Kota Ibushi's grievance with New Japan Pro Wrestling, if there is, because Japanese companies are notoriously private compared to the North American
Mm-hmm.
counterparts. I hope that whatever happens, whatever comes out of this, it changes for the better. Maybe he can be the agent of change that he's always tried to be with Kenny, right? I
Yep.
mean, they pushed boundaries themselves together, as a wrestling
Yeah.
tag team. So he's not above pushing boundaries wherever he
No.
needs to, which I think is why he and Kenny get along so well. So power to him. I hope he's okay. I hope they manage to resolve their differences, but
Same.
if they don't, I hope he finds somewhere happy to be with his career.
Yeah, and there was one thing that like everyone was kind of saying, hey, Coda is now kind of out of New Japan. Maybe he'll come over to AEW. The one thing is, I don't think he wants to leave Japan,
Right.
which is one of the biggest things. It'd be awesome if he could, like, if he would come over here. But you know what? I agree with you. I wish all the best. I hope everything gets resolved, and I hope we get to see him again sometime,
Yep.
right? I hope he's on TV sometime. So yeah. So Bill, I mean, with that, seeing how we kind of transitioned to the Coda slash Kenny segment,
Yep.
that's a perfect way to end the show. And what does
Of
Kenny
course
say
it
to end the
is.
show?
As the great one always says, goodbye, good night, bang.
Good night, everyone.